What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Max Torres with Scoop Duck. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button. I'm really excited about this video today as I am shifting into the baseball field of athletics. I'm bringing you guys an interview with 2022 Oregon baseball commit Ian Umlandt. He's a left-handed pitcher from Tualatin, Oregon, and he's the top player in the entire state of Oregon. So this is a big get for the coaching staff, as you always want to keep the top talent home. Looking at him as a prospect, his fastball velocity is looking at right around 89 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive for a high school prospect. High school prospect. As I've kind of trying to get used to the baseball side of things, learn what kind of things to look out for, but I do know from my years playing baseball growing up that you always want a guy that has a good heater and can bring the gas when you're on the mound. So I thought this would be a really timely interview to bring to the channel, as Oregon has been absolutely scorching on the trail for baseball as well. And it looks like when it comes to baseball, prospects are more likely to commit early. So that's one of the things that I talked with Ian about in his interview. So with all that being said, we're bringing baseball to the channel. Let's hop into that interview, and I'll see you guys after. Now I want to welcome in one of Oregon's top baseball commits in the class of 2022, left-handed pitcher Ian Umlandt. Ian, how's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
I'm good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm great. Super, super excited to do this interview. Kind of like I was telling you before we hit record. Want to get into more of the other sports that maybe don't get as much attention as football does at Oregon, with football being so big. So first thing I want to ask you. I know you've been committed to Oregon for a bit. Tell me a little bit about why you committed to Oregon and why you chose to commit now, seeing that you are a rising junior once this next school year kicks off.
Yeah, Max. So, a big thing for me was the feeling of the coaching staff that they had with me personally, and to be able to talk to them, to Coach Martyr and Coach Angier was they both did an extremely good job, and they made me feel super welcome, and they really reached out and made it feel like Oregon was a great place I wanted to call home. There were a lot of reasons why Oregon was such the perfect fit for me. One of those reasons being it's 90 minutes down the road, and it's being a hometown kid, I wanted to be able to play in front of my friends and family for the next 4 years of my career as well. But the experienced coaching staff, and I really feel like what they've been able to turn around as a program the past couple of years is really looking like a bright future, and I'm excited to help and be part of that turnaround with a lot of the guys.
Very cool. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about how you're staying home, but I'll get into that a little bit later. One thing that I'm interested to ask. I don't really know much about the baseball recruiting process. Tell me a little bit about what that was like getting contacted by the Oregon staff, and were there some other schools that were kind of pushing for you?
Yeah. So with COVID this spring, my whole high school season got canceled, and so playing for my summer team, we went down to Arizona for a couple weeks, and we're trying to get some games in there and on the perfect game circuit. And to the NCAA rules were stated as coaches weren't allowed to actively recruit us, so everything was done virtually. So I had to send my videos and all my stats from the games out to the coaches for them to view, with the help of our summer coach, Nick Lubicic. He was a big help getting me in touch with these schools as well. But it was really a weird time where normally in these tournaments we have 40 to 50 college coaches coming out to watch us pitch and watch us perform. But with COVID and the NCAA rules were that they weren't allowed to come watch, it was different. And so it was a weird thing. It almost took the pressure off and made the games a little bit more fun, not having to play in front of these college coaches and just getting to go out and compete without all the pressure. But it was definitely weird times. It was tough to stay motivated in the beginning once quarantine hit, obviously, because you just find so much time and you don't know what to do with yourself. But I was glad that I was able to put the work in, and it ended up paying off. And the contact with the coaches were great. There was always some hiccups when it's virtually, but it went really well, and I'm thankful for the past couple of months what's been happening for me.
Yeah, it's been a big change for everybody. I feel like you had it even more rough because your whole season was just, completely wiped. You said that your recruitment got, moved to a virtual recruitment. Seeing that you are, 90 minutes down the road out there in Tualatin, have you been able to visit Oregon before? What was it like being recruited virtually? What they do?
So I was able to take a virtual campus tour online, which was pretty awesome. Being able to take a peek at the campus from almost above, and seeing the uh, just how pretty it is. Oregon's a school. They're constantly making the changes to make the school better. They have the Mackenzie River that runs through campus, which I think is just awesome. PK Park's a newer park. You got um, Autzen Stadium, and I mean, I just can't wait to be a Duck, get on campus, and I'm looking forward to everything, and it's super exciting. So
Yeah, cool. I mean, it is a beautiful campus. I can definitely confirm that, being here in Eugene myself. Um, so I want to talk about how you're, a local kid. Tell me a little bit about what it means to you being from Oregon, that you'll be able to put on that green and yellow and, like your hat, rock the O for your college career.
it means a lot to me and my family, and to put the hard work in for the past 5-6 years. It's and seeing it pay off in this big way. It's been special to have to be the hometown kid, attending Sherwood. They have some big names who have gone through there in the past 5-6 years with Adley Rutschman, Zach Taylor. We had 3 more kids this past year go and play college ball. So just to follow them, to watch what they did, and use that as motivation is pretty awesome. And writing the continue to write the script of what it means to play Sherwood baseball, and continue that path onto college. And I mean, to be able to play 90 minutes from home, and to get the chance to be with friends and family during my whole college experience is something that was super big and is really important for me. And the guys that I know I'm going to be playing with as of now, we're all close. It's a tight knit group for the people that I know that are going to be a Duck, and the class in front of me that are going to be in Eugene as well. It's tight, and it's something that we're really looking forward to. And I'm blessed to be able to get the chance to put on the green and yellow.
Yeah, having that close knit relationship with your class is always a big advantage. Before you even come to the school. We talked a little bit earlier about how when we were looking at your perfect game profile, you were listed a couple different things. It had you as a left-handed pitcher, a first baseman, as an outfielder. I think we see with more modern baseball, people are coming in to like you were saying, kind of a two-way deal to pitch and hit. Tell me a little bit about the staff's kind of pitch for you and how they plan to use you once you get to Eugene.
Yeah, so the big thing was, the left-handed pitchers. We can tend to be hard to find sometimes, and so that was the big thing, the left-handed pitching. But I really am looking forward to the chance to prove myself as, potentially a corner outfield guy who, flashes some good athleticism and is able to play that spot as well as hit and contribute to the lineup every day as well. I know being a two-way player in college is something that's very difficult to do, and not many people can do it. And I'm looking forward to the challenge of doing it as well. All the extra work you have to put in. It's not just throwing bullpens and taking care of your arm. It's also, you got to get all the defensive work in. You got to get in the cages every day and take extra swings, And so that's something that I'm really looking forward to working towards and proving myself as. And if that doesn't work out, that's okay. I get to go pitch and play for the best school in the Pac-12. So I'm looking forward to it. And but I know the coaches are going to give me that chance to prove myself, and I'm looking forward to working towards that goal of playing every day and being the two-way player.
Yeah, that's really cool. Something different from football. I feel like a long time ago, maybe like 80s and 90s, we saw football players playing defense and offense. But with baseball, like you were saying, I think it's kind of a unique play style. Being able to play both ways. Seeing that is the case, and you're going to have to be doing a lot of different things. What do you think is maybe the biggest strength to your game?
I think obviously my number one position is pitching, but I feel like even as a pitcher, you can contribute a lot more than just hopping on the mound every once or twice a week and throwing. I mean, for me, being having the mental aspect of the game, the high IQ, being savvy when it comes to being to playing the game. That's something that I've always been proud of the way I've been able to do that, and that's something that's also kind of hard to teach as well. The mental side of baseball, and so that's something that I'm looking forward to showing, and also just trying to come in and help change the culture, be a leader, be a doer, lead by example, and um, trying to help the team do whatever needs. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Nobody likes to lose, so winning's the ultimate goal, and whatever the team needs to do to win is what they're going to get out of me. And so but yeah, I mean, the mental side is something that I contribute, as well as being a leader, someone who steps up and leads by example. And I'm excited to get the chance to pitch as well. I've pitched since I was a little kid, and that's something that I love to do, and I've worked hard at doing. And you know, there's no better feeling than striking someone out. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can totally relate. I played baseball. That was actually my main sport for most of my life, starting from t-ball at 4 years old, and then I played right up until high school. And pitching was actually my favorite position as well. So I think that is one of the really cool aspects that maybe a lot of people who don't follow baseball don't know much about. When you're the pitcher, you got to keep your composure more so than anybody else on the field, I feel like, and you kind of do have control of the pace of the game. Getting into the groove with your pitches. You talked about how you're a high IQ player, the top player in the state of Oregon. Tell me a little bit about your approach on the mound, and kind of your technique, and what kind of pitches you like to mix in.
Well, like you said, keeping your composure, it's a big thing for a pitcher. Guys who give up a couple hits and then start to freak out, it just goes downhill from there. And I mean, the thing you love about baseball is you're gonna fail in baseball. It's the game. The game it's a game of failure. And so having that in mind, if you give up a hit, you get right back on the mound, and you're trying to strike the next guy out, blow three more fastballs right by him. When it comes to pitching, you got to just put the pass behind you real quick. I could go out there and the first inning give up 3 runs, walk a couple guys, but the next inning I'm going to go out there, put my head down, and compete again. And so that's the thing that you love about pitching. You got to have that bulldog mentality to be a pitcher. You can't let anything get into you. You always have the opposing dugouts are always yelling at you, trying to phase you, trying to get in your head, and you just got to block everything out. And when it comes down to it, it's just you and your catcher playing catch, throwing the ball as hard as you can every time. And so that's what makes it fun. As for the pitches I throw, I've been throwing a four seam, as well as I throw a circle change and a curveball, that's turned into more of a slider as of lately, and potentially trying to learn a cutter as well. But I've thrown the same three pitches for years now, and so I'm so comfortable with those pitches that I know I can throw them whenever I need them to, and I can locate them wherever I want them to go. And so to have that under my belt is always nice, because if I have a day where I can't locate the fastball or the curveball isn't landing where I want it to go, I can switch to a different pitch and land that one. And hitters are trying to hit your fastball, and keeping them off balance is a big thing. And so when you're able to really dice up a little bit, and you're keeping guys off balance, there's nothing better than getting through a lineup real quick, carving a lineup, and getting right back to the dugout and let the boys hit. So
Yeah, you talk about keeping guys off balance, and I think that's where it comes in handy. Have a diverse arsenal when it comes to your pitches, but you don't want to have too many that you're trying to make work, because I feel like at that point, then if you have 5 different types of pitches but you're only throwing 2 of them well, then it doesn't really help probably to have that kind of variety.
yeah, you see guys who throw 4 or 5 pitches, but when they get into the game, then they're only throwing 3 of them. And so as a hitter, a hitter's mentality is you can automatically block out those 2 pitches, because those two aren't gonna you're not gonna see those 2 pitches. And so when hitters step into the box against me, they know they're gonna get all 3 pitches, and they know they're gonna be hard to hit, because a lot of the time they're gonna be guessing on which one's coming. And so that's part of the nice thing about being so comfortable throwing 3 pitches and being able to locate so well is whether it's a fastball, a changeup, a curveball. It's more of a grip it and rip it mentality, and I'm gonna throw it here, and you got to try and hit it. So, I mean, there's no better feeling than getting outs and striking out guys. So.
Yeah, you talked about how I think you were trying to learn a cutter. Walk us through kind of what that's like what's the process like when you're trying to add that new pitch into your arsenal, like I was saying, and how do you know, like, hey, I think I have this down and it's time to unveil it?
Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've learned a new pitch, and the process takes a long time because it's something that you kind of work on in the off season, and basically you just got to find a grip that works, and then you just play catch with it and play catch with it for forever, hundreds of throws with the same grip over and over again, just trying to get the movement you want, trying to make the ball spin the way you want. You got a ball that weighs 5.4 ounces, and you're trying to make it move a certain way. It's tough to do, and so it's almost a muscle memory thing. How much pressure you're putting on the ball with your fingers, the way your fingers cross over the laces. It's something where it's just you have to be so repetitive with it, and then once you finally get it, then you got to be able to get on a mound and throw it as hard as you can, which is even harder to do than just playing catch with it. So it's a repetitive process. It's boring and it takes a long time, but if you're able to develop that pitch, especially if that pitch ends up being that one pitch that you need to really take yourself to the next level, get more outs, that's something that's worth it. And so I have my coaches at two of the guys that I work with, they were left-handed pitchers in college as well. They both threw cutters, and so trying to learn from them, use the people around me to the best of my abilities, and really use what I have to my advantage to try and pick minds. And we have a lot of good arms on our summer team as well. And I'm always talking to them. We're always trying to figure out. I'm asking them, hey, how are you gripping your curveball? How are you throwing that changeup? What's your mentality? Every time you're trying to throw that slider. And so just trying to learn as much as you can, because when you're playing with a bunch of guys who are all D1 baseball players, you're going to learn so much just by being out there every day. And so that's part of what's fun about the game. You're never going to, there's always more to learn. You're never going to get bored of it.
Yeah, for sure. I like how you have, that whole student of the game kind of mentality. Now I want to kind of look at more present day and kind of what's been going on with you lately. I know you're calling me from Iowa right now, even though you're from Oregon originally. Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to lately and kind of how you're dealing with trying to return to baseball during this pandemic.
Yeah. So during the quarantine, as it hit back around spring break in March, right after learning our season got canceled, I kind of took a week off just to kind of give my body a rest, and then I really got after it. Plenty of arm care, working out, and really making sure my body was in shape for that. For when we were able to play again, I was ready to go, and I was at 100%. I didn't have to ease myself into it. I was ready to go. So me and my younger brother, we were playing catch. We were throwing every day. We would do all of our plyo balls, our arm care, our weighted baseballs, and just working and working and working every day. When you're sitting around all day, you got nothing better to do. So why not keep going? Why not keep working? And so during that time, I was also able to really read my body and take a look about what was working for me, what wasn't. And I was able to realize the fact that I felt like I wasn't going to stay in shape if I didn't lose some weight. So I was able to lose some weight during quarantine as well, and really get my body in shape to where I wanted it to be. And so that was nice. And we spent about a month ago, we spent a couple weeks in Arizona playing as well. And so it's been nice. We've had some games here and there, but it's tough to maintain a consistent schedule during this time. And so that's something that's difficult to do. It's always tough to stay motivated, especially right now. When you're not playing, you're just practicing 3 to 4 days a week. Everyone likes playing. Nobody likes having to, practice without, an end goal of playing. And so it's definitely tough, but, you just got to put your head down, because at some point this is going to end, and then you're right back on the field. And when that time comes, you got to be ready. You can't lollygag around for 4 months and then expect to be right back out there. And um it's cool to have all the committed kids on one team as well, because just because you're committed doesn't mean you're going to stop working. There's more to it. Guys are going to get drafted. Guys are going to go play pro ball after high school, after college, and so there's a lot you got to keep working for. You can't just stop because you got a scholarship, because you got an offer, you committed somewhere. You got to keep working. And if anything, it just should just motivate you more to be better. When I get to college, you got 30, 40 teammates who are rallied around you now, and you gotta be better than the next guy if you want to play. So I got to be ready for that as well. But it's been fun. It was cool to really sit down and be able to work on my own and take time and really develop my body the way I wanted it to go on by myself and keep myself motivated. It was pretty cool, and I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to do that. But yeah, I mean, trying to stay in shape during this time, it's crazy. It's tough, but there's always an end goal. There's always an end in sight. So, just staying motivated and, never stop working.
Yeah, I think I like how it, if you were saying, it kind of falls on the player, I feel like, to kind of, stay consistent, sharpening their craft, since they don't have as much contact with their teammates and their coaches. Just have a couple more for you here, man. You've been super generous with your time. This is an awesome interview. One point you alluded to a little bit with your last answer was, after high school ball ends, some people go to college, whereas some others go to the pros. I think that baseball is very interesting in that regard, seeing that people can go straight to the pros. I know you're only going to be a junior, but I wanted to just talk a little bit about, why do you think some people choose to go straight to the pros versus going to play college ball? What is there to gain?
I think a lot of what to gain, and I mean, I'd have to talk to some of the guys that I know that have gone straight to the pros, because there's some guys who do it, there's some guys who don't, but I think a lot of it has to do with getting that, guaranteed money right out of high school. You look at some guys who got drafted right out of Oregon this past year, and Mick Abel and Dylan McClain, and they both got a lot of guaranteed money, and they were able to forego their commitment from their respective schools to play to go play professionally. The other hard part about that, though, is your salary as a minor league baseball player is so little, and it's so hard to live off of the salary that they have and the money they get paid. And so that's something where, if you're able to, if you're lucky enough to have money coming out of high school where you're able to support yourself, or you're able to get enough guaranteed money from your signing bonus. A lot of it, I mean, it depends on if you're willing to go bet on yourself right after high school and, grind for 3 to 4 years before even getting a chance to play with your major league team. Or if you'd rather, take, depending on how you see it, a safer route and go to college, where you get to develop for 3 to 4 more years, and you have somewhere to live. You get to experience that college experience. So for me personally, I haven't put as much thought into it. This is the biggest step I've taken yet, is choosing my college and committing. And so I haven't looked into it as much, but some of the guys I play with and against are in the class ahead of me, and these are the decisions that they're having to make now regarding next summer's draft, and whether or not they're interested in, potentially getting drafted and signing, or whether they're going to attend their schools that they've committed to. And it's something, the only sport that's like it, and so it's hard to figure out what you would want to do. And it would definitely, when the time comes, if the time comes for that, it would definitely be a tough decision and something that you'd have to put a lot of thought into. But I mean, it's part of baseball, and it's what makes it fun. There's so much optimism around it, and so that's part of it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you mentioned, where it's something we don't see in other sports, making a commitment, and then if the pros come calling, you can, forego it, or, for lack of a better phrase, kind of get out of your commitment. But what I want to end on here is, so your class of 2022, you're committed now. Is there any ability to, sign your letter of intent early, or, get to Oregon and enroll early? What's next for you as far as the recruiting process goes?
So I've been keeping in touch with the with the coaches and trying to update them as I'm pitching and stuff. But without without any games to play, it's been tough because there's not much to update them on. And so I don't believe I signed my letter of intent, I believe, the fall of my senior year. So September of next year, I believe, is when I sign it. But I don't believe I can enroll or sign that early. The next step for me is, working towards, now that I have the athletic side done, working towards finishing my academic side as well. So I can solidify my academic scholarship as well, and make sure I can get what I want to get and what I know I can get. And then, just continue to work. The guys around me are great, with my summer team, and the coaches at my high school are great as well. And so, there's always, if I can't stay motivated, I got to look around me and, then see that everyone else is working, then I'm right back at it. Cause I know that I don't want anyone else to, work harder and end up being better than me. And so, it's a lot of now just, working on my personal craft. So when I get to Oregon or getting drafted out of high school, I can put myself in the best position to be successful wherever I want to go. So that's the cool thing, is now that this is out of the way, it's a lot about now development. For me personally, I don't have to do all these big showcases anymore. I'm not worried about trying to impress all these college coaches now and send video out anywhere. It's all about, for me now, working towards bettering myself on the field, off the field, in the classroom, and making sure that I can do what I need to do to be successful at Oregon and at the next level.
Right on. Well, I love the mentality, man. I love your approach. It's got to be a relief, it sounds like, to have that process over with. So I can't thank you enough for taking some time to talk with me, man. It's been great to get to know you and learn a little bit more about the baseball process. So I hope you stay well, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you, Max. I'll see you soon.
All right, bye. All right, guys, that will do it for another video here on the Scoop Duck YouTube channel. Want to give a big thanks to Ian for giving me some of his time to, learn more about him as a person, as a player, more about high school baseball and, college baseball, Oregon baseball. I love it all. So want to give a big shout out to him. And, I'm interested to see, what happens with this Oregon baseball team, since they're, just seems like they're getting a commit every other time I check Twitter. So going to try to get in touch with more of them and bring those interviews here to the channel. I do want to say that I recently had a video with Rob Mosley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. So he's a great source with the football team, and had a great conversation with him about last season, and then the team's outlook in 2020 should we have the spring season. So just wanted to remind you guys of that. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I have a lot of other videos just like this, primarily with football recruits, but just trying to diversify the channel and constantly get better. So if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.